Λοιπόν, καλησπέρα και πάλι.
Good afternoon yet again. As time goes by, we get more and more interesting news. Mr. Plakiotakis will have to go really fast. That's why we are giving him the floor. We have a discussion, a debate on the budget at the level of the Hellenic Parliament. When you're faced with the Minister of Maritime Affairs and Insular policy, you can't help but wonder, where should I start? And I asked him outside, shall we start talking about migrant and refugee flows? Normally this time of year, that's the discussion topic, and the minister told me to start with discussion. So today we are going to talk about growth and development. To discuss about growth and development, I would like to listen to what you have to say with regard to Greek maritime affairs. The pandemic is still here, so what's your reading and your take on the situation and development so far? To begin with, let me extend my thanks to E.EN.E, the Hellenic Entrepreneurs Association, for this meeting, this invitation, and affording me scope to address such a distinguished gathering. I believe that shipping and maritime affairs are amongst the strategic advantages of this country. Amidst the pandemic, nonetheless, Greek shipping and maritime businesses managed to not just continue playing their strategic role with regard to promoting free trade. Let's not forget, after all, that the transport sector was faced with huge issues during the pandemic. But in essence, since we're talking about 90% of the global trade, the vessels, shipping, maritime business act as a catalyst in order to facilitate the transportation of health and sanitary material, merchandise, commodities. This was critical, but generally speaking, shipping over the past few months is doing great. And still, this is a sector faced with huge challenges. There are challenges given the new environment rules and principles, new regulations, new challenges such as the digitalization of shipping and cybersecurity. So, deep seas shipping is excelling and it's breaking records. Coastal shipping, unlike that, has been suffering damages, millions in damages of the past 2 years, but the challenges ahead will be huge. Now, the thing is, you, the ministry, you are the minister, have been the minister for 2 years. Do you have the know-how? Do you have the expertise? Rather, do you have the infrastructure? I guess the political volition is there in order for you to deal with such challenges, because if Greece has one thing to be proud of, and it's certainly the avant-garde, it's the ships, the vessels, our shipping business, and our seas. It's true that over the past 2 years, we have taken a number of important initiatives in terms of appealing and attracting new vessels to fly the Greek flag. We have proceeded with institutional reforms. We changed the ways in which we enter the ships into the registry. There were institutional interventions. We had the national framework for the so-called bare vessel. And there are other important developments. We are digitalizing the sector. We have a fully integrated information system, so we are not just sitting idly by, we are proceeding with taking initiatives to deal with such challenges, and we're also taking stock of developments at the level of the IMO and also the European Union. Now, what about the big challenges ahead of us? There's the climate change, and of course there's the issue of environmental protection. And so what we really care about, what we're interested in, is a smooth energy transition of deep sea shipping and also coastal shipping, with a view certainly to achieving and pursuing the goals we've set to have zero carbon or decarbonized shipping. There's an important suggestion. We recommended that we establish a new research center for alternative fuel and alternative technologies in order for us to rise to the occasion and deal with the challenges ahead. And which brings us to the ports. We have to have investments, private investments. Where are we as we speak? Well, as we speak, you see, at the level of the ports, we have a concession through international competitions. We have Thessaloniki, Kavala, Igoumenitsa, Iraklio, the 4 ports we started working on 2 years ago in close collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and Taipei. There's a lot of interest on the part of local and foreign potential investors. This goes to prove that we were to the point when we chose to proceed that way, and most importantly, this goes to show that the regional ports of Greece have an important footprint, geopolitical footprint, economic footprint. So within the year 2021, we will have all 4 competitions, and we will be starting a similar process with regard to Volos, Kerkyra, and another 4 ports. Despite that, let me discuss the refugee and migration issue. I'm a journalist, and I want to ask this question. The migration flows, maybe that's not as intense as it used to be, but it's not over. It's part of the global reality, and depending on what's happening and depending on whether there's pressure exerted on Erdogan or maybe he's under pressure, there are challenges here in the region, in the neighborhood. You're obviously able and capable of dealing with that. You have shown so much. I would like to have your comment. How ready are you? Listen, the result speaks for itself. If you discuss with the residents of the islands, there are people from the Eastern Aegean here, over there, excellent representatives, worthy representatives of the island of Mytilene. They can corroborate to what I'm saying as we speak. There's no migration issue the way we used to know it in the past. Let me give you one indication or other figure that corroborates indeed the efficacy and efficiency of our people. Out of 67,000 illegally entering migrants and refugees that we used to have in 2019, as we speak, we have 4,000. What's the meaning of this? In practice, this signifies that the people working, the men and women working for the Coast Guard are doing an excellent job. We have increased and enhanced the operational capacities of the Coastal Guard. Private entities, including associations such as the Hellenic Association of Ship Owners, have helped to that, and other private entities have been instrumental in that. Moreover, we are proceeding with the systems and the upgrades of our means and instruments. We're doing that, and we are working on a 24-hour basis, 365 days a year, with full respect to international law, always prioritizing the protection of human lives. Over the past 2 years, we have managed over 10,000 cases, and the loss in human lives has been minimal. And this is what we are proud of, because when you have a boat of refugees and migrants leaving Turkey without any life vest, pay note to that, no life vest. They are boarding bad quality boats. You can understand that. So essentially, people are trying to instrumentalize the migration refugee issue. But then again, Greece, as it ought, protects of not just its borders, but also the European borders. And therefore, I can assure you that we will continue to work this way with full and absolute respect to international conventions and agreements, while being fully prepared, operationally speaking, in terms of human resources and means too. And in order to praise ourselves on a national manner, not politically or partisan way, you are a dear friend, but we are not here to cajole you or coax you. I have to say that over the past few months, you've been receiving various delegations, especially European delegations, who wish to be updated and informed about the ways in which you're dealing with such developments and such situations, because they're being faced with similar issues. It is a fact that this improved efficacy and efficiency of the Coast Guard of Greece, just as I said before, has gotten the attention of people at a European level. Everybody's turning to us. They want to know more. They're asking for a know-how. They want to know how to deal with such issues. And of course, this affords us scope to have meetings during which we can inform each other, and then we can also exchange information this way, so that our interventions will be more focused and more effective. It's also a fact that and I will repeat that, Greece, let it be understood, is not just protecting its borders, it's also defending the European borders. And I think this is something that everybody is conscious of at the European level. That is the efficacy and efficiency of the Greeks as concerns the protection of the maritime borders. We're not talking about land borders, we're talking about the sea borders. We're talking about thousands of kilometers of coastline. And Greece is rising to the occasion in a very effective and efficient manner. Last question, if I may, because this is the annual economic forum of the Hellenic Entrepreneurs Association. And to what extent do you believe that your arena can help foster Greek entrepreneurship and eventually help achieve Greek growth and development? Well, like I said, Greece was and still is the top maritime power. So it's top of the list in terms of shipping, and therefore we have a huge capacity and also a great opportunity to attract young people, to appeal to the youth who might be interested in working in this field. Of course, that would presuppose an upgrade of public education provided in the field. We've drafted a new educational institutional framework within 2022 that will be ready. There's also the digitalization of our training and education, which is happening as we speak, but I also think that this is a sector that can be changed, not just in terms of how to deal with a huge problem, that's joblessness, because the circumstances, and I would like the young people to understand that the circumstances of working on vessels, on board ships have changed. The living conditions have nothing to do with what applied in the past. Now, that's one thing, joblessness and fighting it. Moreover, we can help. There's yachting. It's another sector. We could go on and on for hours. There's huge scope for growth there. And it's also the ports that I mentioned before, the ports project. Generally speaking, this is a sector which, over the past 2 years, has proceeded with taking many initiatives aimed at growth. Thank you very much. I would like to wish you all the best. May you have good seas and calm seas whenever you travel.